Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So in this video, I'm bringing you 10 tips I wish I knew before mastering my makeup. Obviously, we're going to all have trial and errors, but yeah, I just want to help the girls out, the girls who may need tips and tricks to, achieve a flawless makeup final look. So anyways, let's just jump right into the video because I really don't want to talk too much except the 10 tips that I have. I've not done anything to my face because I really wanted to give you guys a step-by-step based on the tips that I have to offer. So the first tip that I have would definitely be take your time. Honestly, I feel like this is a very obvious tip, but not a lot of people practice this. Once you take your time doing your makeup, this glue is getting all over. Once you take your time doing your makeup, I promise you, you're going to love the results. The last thing you want to do is to have taken your time in doing something and for it to turn out being a mess. You need to take your time blending out every step, every foundation step, every concealer step, every step, follow all the steps. And yeah, just take your time. The more you leave time to getting ready and just, don't do the whole, I'm running late, I have to get ready in 5 minutes thing. I promise you, your end results will be much better than if you do a rush, dab. Yeah, you don't want to spend your time doing something and for it to not come out looking its absolute best or the highest potential that you can get. Tip number 2 would be always, this is a step rather that you don't want to miss. Always prep your skin. Literally. Exfoliate, then moisturize after you've cleansed and washed your face, obviously. So today I'll be using these 2 products. This is my Paula's Choice liquid exfoliant, and then I'll be going in with my Glow Recipe moisturizer. Exfoliating your skin is just a step that you need to do on a daily basis. Not a daily basis, depending on what skin regimen you're following, I don't know. But before you do your makeup, you always want to exfoliate your skin. This just helps remove all the dead skin all over your face. And once you've exfoliated and removed all those dead skin cells, your makeup is obviously going to apply much smoother, much seamless, and just all round look ton more flawless in the end. So exfoliating is such an important step with makeup because it just removes all that dead skin, all that gunk on your face that you don't need sitting on your face once you're applying on makeup. Always drag it down to your neck. Most times you're blending your makeup down to your neck. Regardless, you should always put your skincare, drag it down to your neck. After you've exfoliated, you want to let that dry down a bit, just a bit, I want to say a minute maximum before you go in with your moisturizer. Hydrate. You can go in with any moisturizer you use, depending on your skin texture, obviously, and honestly, just go in with whatever moisturizer you usually would use. Hydrating is so important. You don't want patchiness all over your skin. And once your skin is hydrated, it just helps blend in the makeup a tad bit more. But you need to make sure your moisturizer is dried down before you go in with your foundation, or this could definitely be catastrophic for your foundation. If you have dry skin, I would definitely advise you use a very thick consistency moisturizer because people with dry skin tend to have more patchy looking makeup. But if you moisturize well before going in with your makeup, even with your dry skin, your makeup is going to turn out looking real flawless, girl. Now we're all moisturized, hydrated. You can see how juicy the skin looks. Going in with my lip balm now. Also, obviously, moisturize your lips. Nobody wants chapped, ugly, disgusting, gunky, cracky lips, especially in this, amber season. It's cold, it's dry out there. I'm going to go in with this Fenty lip mask. Right. I love this mask, but you can use whatever lip balm you have. I also use Vaseline. It really doesn't matter as long as it's giving your lips some hydration. We're all hydrated. All right, The next tip would obviously also fall under the lines of hydration, but this is hydrate your under eyes. A ton of people tend to use the same moisturizer they use for all over their face for their under eyes as well. The under eye is the most sensitive part of your face. It's the most sensitive area on your face. It creases easily, it cracks easily, it dries out super easy. Like I have really dry under eyes, and I have like it creases sometimes. Like the under eye is a very different ball game in your skincare. That's why they make a whole other product for your under eye basically. So hydrating your under eye is like another step on its own, because this helps with, you know, avoiding creases. Once you blend it in your concealer, it helps avoid, you know, dryness, patchiness under your eyes once you've applied concealer, once you've applied, you know, your setting powder. If you've done your steps correctly, especially if you've hydrated correctly, you're going to avoid all those steps. So I use 2 products for my under eye. Honestly, I can go between both. Sometimes I go in with my Inky List Brightening Eye Cream, or I just go in with Vaseline. I know. I love Vaseline. I use Vaseline for everything, honestly. Like Vaseline is so good, and it's such a natural product that is just so, I feel, is underrated. I just use the Blue Seal, or I use my Inky List. Anyways, today I'll be using my Vaseline Blue Seal just because I really need that extra hydration. Like it just gives that extra hydration that, and I want that. I don't want my under eyes creasing, cracking at all. Okay, let's spread it out and then just blend. As you can see, like I don't know if my camera is picking it up, you can see the areas that I moisturize, and you can see that my under eyes are still dry. So yeah, if you don't do the under eye hydration step, your concealer is going to come out real cracked and real creased. Okay, do you see the difference now that I've applied that? Like it's more plumpy, it's more, you know, glowy. It's just way better than it was before. Please ignore the noise in the background. There's some construction going on in my area. They're building buildings, so I'm sorry. Do you see how much better we look? 4th tip would be ensure your foundation matches your skin tone. I know this is pretty obvious, but I feel like not a lot of people are hearing when other people are saying this. Ensure your skin tone, your foundation rather, matches your skin tone and matches your skin color. You can literally buy the most expensive, the most raved about, the most, you know, popular foundation that works for everybody else, and it won't work for you, especially if you didn't get your shade, if you didn't get your right skin tone, if you didn't get your right undertone. So yeah, this is a very important tip that I feel like not a lot of people are clocking into, because baby, we can tell that that foundation is not your shade. Anyways, today I'll be going in with 2 foundations actually, and I'll talk about this. You can mix and match foundations, honestly, especially if you found that you didn't get your right, you know, skin shade foundation. There's so many ways to make it work. There's so many ways to blend it with other foundations that may be darker if you got a lighter shade than yours, and it will, you know, blend with your skin tone and blend into your skin tone perfectly. And also, mixing foundations is actually like a thing. Like people do it. I love doing it because you might love this texture of a foundation and you might love this texture of a foundation, or you might not you might not really love the next texture of a foundation, but once you mix them together, you find that, oh my god, it gives like the most amazing, flawless finish, and it's just so amazing. I can't rave about this too much because I love it. Like I feel like more people should be doing this. I said you can mix your foundations, yes, but you obviously need to be careful of, you know, what ingredients you're mixing together. There's some foundations, products, whatever, that are more silicone based. Some are more, you know, water based. You know, whatever ingredients are using, you really need to be checking out for what is being used, and be looking at the back of ingredients, especially if you want to be mixing these things together. Okay, our foundation is blended in properly. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys the next tip. Next tip that I will give, and I swear by this one. I feel like this plays a role in helping my makeup have longevity. I can do my makeup in the morning and I'll be able to go out at night and my makeup will still look flawless. Obviously you will touch up here and there, but it gives your makeup that longevity. And this tip is simply set between each step. I wouldn't say each step like after brow set, no. After foundation, set. After concealer and cream bronzer, set. After powder, set. And once you're done with all like your complete makeup, your lip gloss, your eyeshadow, set. So that's like 4 setting steps that you need. And there are obviously different types of sprays that you will need for each of this step. And I will go into that maybe in another video because that's like a whole, like it's a longer different topic, but set between each step. So now that we're done blending out our foundation, I'm going to set with my spray. I use either the Charlotte Tilbury spray or the Milk Grip spray for this step, but before you want to do that, you want to make sure there are no streaks on your face. You blended in your foundation. You can even go in with a sponge rather to do this step. I don't really like going in with a sponge to touch my foundation because I feel like it soaks up a lot of product. I feel like my dense foundation brush really blends out my foundation for me, and I love the result it gives me. But this step would be, I'm going to go with my concealer now, but I'm just going to talk and work at the same time. I think this is our 5th step, right? Would be blend in your concealer with a brush first before going in with your sponge. I know I've said so many times how I don't actually like doing this. I actually always just went in with my sponge, like always. We're going to let this sit for like 10 seconds, but I always went in with my sponge like immediately before even like going on. I always just like let my concealer sit, then went in with my sponge. But I realized that it's much better if you blend out with a brush, like a tiny kabuki brush that fits like in the crevice of your under eye before going in with a sponge. Reason being, using a brush like a dense kabuki brush, like I said, helps, diffuse the concealer, blend out the concealer without stripping the concealer, without stripping your products. And a sponge, just going in with a sponge directly, I feel like, especially like a damp beauty blender, like we all use, it just really soaks up the product, and you're not getting the coverage that you would get if you're going in with a brush first of all. I know this is a step that I said that I would never do, but here I am doing it because I find that it really just helps spread out the product without soaking up the product. Then you would go in with a beauty blender to smooth out all the creases and all the streaks and just make everything seamless before going in with your powder. So yeah, pro tip, 5th tip, I believe. I feel like that's our 5th tip. Okay, so I feel like this is our 7th. I'm so off track. Let me even just stop saying numbers and I would just put the numbers on the screen. But next tip would be to blend your concealer in an upwards motion. So I'm going to use my 2nd concealer to show you guys this step. This is my Born This Way concealer, and it's obviously a lighter shade than the concealer I was just using. So first you want to obviously go in your inner corners. This is like an obvious step, unless you're doing like a no makeup type look, then you go in with a dot, but I don't do that. Then you want to take and just flick upwards. So I'm just going to show you again, like this way. And then you want to take your brush, your concealer applicator, and go up. This already is stamping in place how you're going to blend your concealer. You're going to blend from here, blend in the middle, then go upwards. This just helps lift the face and give your face a more snatched look in the end. If you're blending your concealer just like everywhere, you're just going to have like a dull droopy type end result. Trust me, blending in an upwards motion always helps lift the face and obviously gives a more youthful look, because you know we want lift, we don't want to drop down. Remember, blend out with a brush first before going in with your sponge, especially because we need the coverage. We're all blended now. You can see the lift that concealer, and you can just see how lifted my face looks. And once we set, we're going to set with a lifted motion. It just gives us a more snatched look. You see it. I don't need to talk too much. Next tip would be placements. This also is kind of like blending an upwards motion, but it's different because it has to do with your bronzer placement. So, and obviously your blush placement, everything, but we're not doing cream blush today. We're just going to focus on like base and, you know, eyes. So placements, precise placements are always important. I literally always say this in majority of my videos. If I don't say it, I'm showing you. So you want to take your cream bronzer. I use the NARS cream bronzer, and you want to take a precise brush. You're going to go in your cream bronzer and you're going to look at your face. Obviously, you're going to know your face. You've been doing your makeup. Even if you just started, realize the areas you want to enhance, like your cheekbones. You want to enhance that kind of like shadow bronzeness. I don't know how to explain it. You want to lift your face. You want to give yourself a snatched cheekbone. You want to snatch your jawline. You want your forehead to be a bit more bronze. So you're just going to look at areas you would usually want to bronze and give a bit more color back to your face, and you're going to stamp those areas with your cream bronzer. So taking our brush now, I'm just going to put my bronzer here. I like my bronzer being at this area. I don't really like taking my bronzer across my cream bronzer, rather across my forehead. I just like stamping them on the sides, and then work from there, blend from there. Then taking my cream bronzer, you really want a higher placement for your cream bronzer. You want to place it higher rather than lower. Placing your cream bronzer in a lower position just makes your face look droopy and drop down. Placing it in a higher position like this is like, once you blend it out, you're going to have a more lifted effect. You're going to have a more lifted effect. You're going to have a more snatched look, and you're going to have a more snatched and lifted end result. So placements are really important, because where you place these products and once you blend it out, the final result is obviously going to show where you place these products. If you place it high enough, you're going to have a more snatched, sculpted face. If you're placing it down here, trust me, you're just going to look all droopy and not cute. I'm going to place them, my jawline, because I want to snatch that jaw. I place right under my chin because I do have somewhat of a long chin, and I just like to, make it look a bit more bronze, kind of like cutting it down a bit, just a bit, not too much now. So placements are important. And your nose contour, a lot of people don't contour, but you want to bring back some color to your nose, some shadow. I just place it right at the top, almost connecting it to my brows, and I drag it down. And as you're dragging it down, you want to make the line slimmer as you're dragging down. All right, last placement step that I use for my eyes are here. I like to do, it's kind of like, it's contouring your eye. You can see it helps enhance the upward motion blend you blend out with your concealer. I'm sorry, I'm not a professional to be using professional terms, but I just hope you can understand by seeing. So I just put it right here. It gives like a kind of cat eye effect, and it just makes your face lifted. And obviously when you're doing eyeshadow, it also plays a part. So these are the placements. These are my placements. And now we're going to blend. All right, the next pro tip we've talked about placement. Now let's talk about blending out those placements. So I want to say tap your cream bronzer. The tip would be, because I need to write something on the screen, tap your cream bronzer at the back of your hands before going directly on your face. What I mean is, you're using a cream bronzer, whatever cream bronzer you use, go in with your brush, right, and tap in, but you want to tap, blend it out, kind of smudge it out at the back of your hand, like so, before going in to blend it out on your face. I don't know if I'm making sense. I don't know if we're connecting here. Let me tell you why. This literally helps avoid muddiness and patchiness. You can just go in with a bare brush and it just leaves a patchy end result, especially if you're using a cream bronzer that's a bit more drying. This cream bronzer is really good. It blends out really well, but to ensure that you're getting a perfect seamless blend, you just want to do this step, tap it at the back of your hand before going in on your face. Do you see how it blends out so seamlessly? I feel like this just activates some heat on the blender and it just blends out like butter. It blends out like so seamless. I don't know if you guys can see that. Blends out so well. No patchiness, no dryness, no muddy looking finish. So we're just going to do that and blend. You see there is a stark difference. It literally blended out so seamlessly and so beautifully compared to if you just went in directly with your brush. It would definitely leave a muddy, patchy look. Going in with a much smaller, denser brush now, we're going to blend out our nose bronzer. So tap off the excess and just blend. You want to blend into your eyebrow, kind of like the beginning of your brows. Just blend it in so it gives like everything is merging together. It's not starting and stopping somewhere. Everything blends together, everything connects. That's the word I'm looking for. Everything connects together. And by doing this, you're also blending that bronzer with your concealer and everything just looks sharp. You're sharpening everything together while adding some product and blending out the product. Whether you're diffusing everything together. I'm so short of words these days. I don't even know what I'm saying. Anyways, all blended, seamless, stunning. Mwah. I've been talking and I wasn't even recording. Oh my god. All right, so this next step that I want to talk about is always going with a pressed translucent setting powder before going in with a finish a loose powder. So I use this Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Brightening Powder before I go in with whatever setting powder you're using. This is the one size one. So you want to take your pressed powder and go in with a sponge. You can use your beauty blender if you like. I just rather go in with a, this triangle puff, go into the powder and always rub out the excess at the back of your hand. Always rub out the excess. This just helps even out the powder on your sponge, which in turn will even out the powder once you've stamped it on your face. So before we do that, you want to take your beauty blender, go in and blend out the cream products you've stamped, because once you put powder on your face, you stamped the product. Even if you're creasing and you put powder on your face, you stamp the creasing. So always go in with your beauty blender and blend out those creases. So I feel like that's like 3 tips in one. Thank me in the comments because I just gave you guys 3 tips inside 1 tip. Always go in with your sponge, blend out the creases before going in with the powder. So we're going to do that now. I'm going to take my sponge and just make sure all my creases are very well blended. Do you see how airbrushed that looks and how smooth and beautiful and flawless. And if you're not making ugly faces while blending out your powder, you're not blending well. Okay, we're done with powder now. I look very powdery but still flawless. Don't play with it. So I'm going to go in with my Morphe continuous setting spray. I love this setting spray after powders, like any powders I've used. I love going in with this continuous setting mist because it just helps, I don't know, diffuse that powdery look, and it makes your skin, your makeup look more skin-like and less powdery. I'm going to that made a difference. It makes that setting mist just makes your face look more skin-like, and obviously we're going to apply more sprays that will enhance the texture of your skin and make your makeup look more skin-like and less powdery. So yeah, but I'm going to cut the recording off here because I'm going to go in with an eye look, and this video is not based on eye look. So I'm going to come back once I'm done with my eye look, and if you want to see how I got the eye look result, go to my Instagram because I'll be filming the eye look for Instagram. But I'll be back with the next tips shortly. So cute. This is so different from what I usually do. I literally don't play with color when doing my makeup, but I wanted to make a TikTok reel, not a TikTok reel, IG reel that matches my nails with my makeup before I got rid of these nails because they're outgrowing. But yeah, if you want to see how I achieved the eye look and the lip look, just go to my Instagram. I'm sure that video will be up by now, but the whole essence of this video was to give you guys tips on how to achieve a flawless makeup base, which did not consist of lips and eyes. Anyways, I'm officially done, and I have my last tip to give you guys today before I leave. The last tip would be picture what you want your makeup to look like before you even start. This is kind of obvious, but not really. People just go into makeup just doing whatever. I feel like if you have a mindset, or if you have a picture, or if you like have an analysis of what you want the end result of your makeup to look like, it will always come out looking how you pictured it. Like today, I wanted to play with makeup and I wanted to, use color, the color of my nails to match my makeup, and I pictured what I wanted it to look like in my head and I brought it to life using makeup. So yeah, if you want your makeup to look, simple, if you want to go above and beyond, if you want to go moderate, if you don't want to do too much on your eyes, it's really up to you. Just have an imagination or have a color palette of what you want your makeup to look like before you even start, so you can know what you're doing, and so you can know the steps to take, and so you can even know the colors, the palettes, the blush, lipstick, lip colors that you want to use. That is my final tip for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, let me know and I can do a part 2 because I have so much more that I can share. If you want more tips from me, let me know and I can definitely do a part 2. Don't forget to comment below if you found these tips helpful, and comment below if you actually like this makeup look. I feel like it's a bit much for me. Like, it's kind of crazy because I don't do too much. Like, I really keep my makeup simple, especially like with the eyes, and I do like a muted nude lip or like a pinky nude, but this is so different for me and I actually kind of like it. I wish I had somewhere to go, but I don't. But it's so cute. Like, I actually kind of like this makeup look. Anyways, let me know in the comments if you like this look. Don't forget to like, comment, share this video with people that you think would enjoy these tips or would benefit from these tips. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.